Hello everyone and welcome back to Hell. Today I am playing, as promised, Springans. Springans is a deck that I actually liked from the TCG. There they are, finally in Duel Links, and with my meager 5,000 gems I managed to pull one copy of Springans Watch. This list is inspired by Grand Aria's COG deck list. If you don't know Grand Aria, he is one of the tournament organizers of all time, and also a pretty decent player, if I do say so myself. And if he's watching the video, thank you for the engagement, dislike, and comment that you left on my last Duel Links video. I really appreciated it.
You won't fool me. I've got eyes everywhere, even inside of your house. Parentheses, don't ask where. I won't tell you, and you won't find it, so don't even bother.
So yeah, Grand Aria's list, a Springans Dogmatica list, leveraging the power of Fallen of Albaz, which is just Super Poly on legs, Springans Call, which just summons the Fallen of Albaz, which is just a Super Poly on legs, and Springans Blast, which is just a targeted negate. It doesn't even target, it targets a monster's zone, so it can affect targetable monsters and still negate their effects, which is pretty cool. And it can also prevent your opponent from using zones, which is pretty amazing. But how do we get to use so many of these cool shiny tools? Well, Springans got a skill that's pretty good. Any amount of times per duel, which is insane that this skill doesn't have like a limitation. I'm not really fond of it, but other than that, any amount of time per duels, you get to reveal a Fallen of Albaz or a Springans back row in order to send a Fallen of Albaz and up to one level 4 Springans monster from your hand and or deck to the graveyard, and set a Springans back row from your hand or deck, which can be activated this turn, which means you get to immediately get use of the trap that you set. That's kind of busted. But on top of that, if you have sent Fallen of Albaz from your hand, you also get to add a Springans card. Can be one of the back row, can be one of the monsters. What you're usually searching with the skill, depending on the type of hand you have, is the Springans Watch in order to get the Great Sand Sea Gold Gonganda, which allows you to discard any card to special summon an Xyz Springans monster from your extra deck. It is not treated as an Xyz summon, so it can't be monster revived later on, but it does allow you to start a couple of your combos. Merrymaker on summoned allows you to foolish any Springans monster from deck to the graveyard, and X-Blower can blow a bunch of cards all at once. That's pretty cool. Why would you want to send Springans monster to the graveyard? It's because they all have really cool graveyard effects. They can all equip themselves or attach themselves rather at Xyz material to Xyz monsters you control, kind of like ammunition on the weapons that are your Xyz monsters. And Springans Brother, very specifically, when it is sent to the graveyard from the end or deck, allows you to revive another Springans monster, allowing you to go into another potentially interesting rank 4. Abyss Dweller is pretty much the best generic rank 4 in the game, isn't it? And one that is good going first or going second. On top of that, you also have the Fallen of Albaz synergy. Sprint, the Arantash Dragon, can be fusion summoned by using Fallen of Albaz and any effect monster special summoned this turn. How interesting to use with Springans calls. And Titanic Lad, the Ash Dragon, or as I like to call it, Bastard Dragon, can be fusion summoned using a monster with 2500 attack or more, which does include a lot of monsters. Also, we're playing a small Dogmatica package, because technically, when these are sent to the graveyard, Titanic Lad can get a Dogmatica card, or other added to hands, or special summon it, and a Sprint can get a Springans card. I was going to say Tri Brigade. This is not Tri Brigade. This is, I feel, a bit better than Tri Brigade. So that's the deck. It is a pretty cool combo-oriented deck that I feel is really coming to fruition in Duel Links very specifically, thanks to the ability to use the Springans back row that were otherwise not really playable. For the time being, this is Springans. This is still a really fun deck, one that might reconcile me with Duel Links if the following ban list actually takes care of the less fun decks that you still have to play against on ladder. Unlikely. Let's watch a couple of replays now. This first replay is going to be against the new Resonator deck, which actually has some potential. I've seen people discuss whether the new skill is better or not than Roaring Soul. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, because I'm genuinely curious. I might build this deck next, because I have pulled 2 of the UR Resonators and enough Crimson Gaias while trying to build Springans. So, anyway, the hand is not great. So I'm sending Ulbaz and a Rocky in order to set a blast. I have the Golti Golgonda. I'm gonna have to pitch the Booty. Unfortunate that I didn't get to pitch the Brothers, but I can send the Brothers with the Merrymaker Revive. The Rocky. Rocky is going to get me back the Brothers. Set to pass. Why am I not summoning the Brothers to go into Abyss Dweller? It is because, just like Super Poly, Fallen of Albaz does require a discard. I'd rather send the Springans Brother from my hand in order to use this, which will revive the Rocky if it's not already dead. Unfortunately, I don't get to showcase the full Xyz potential of this deck just yet, but still, I feel like that's a pretty decent turn 1 end board for the deck. You do want to set up a Fallen of Albaz in the grave and have enough like disruption that you can really annoy your opponent. Maybe MST isn't great, maybe you could be playing something else instead, but I don't have the GS7 like Grandaria, so I'm playing MST. Anyway, opponent is going to activate the skill. They're just going to get to send a Fiendish Chain for free. That's what the skill does. Very fair and balanced skill. You know, they just negate my thing, so they can't activate the skill again, set a Red Rain in order to flip up a Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. But do you know what's funny about Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend? It is actually a monster with 2500 attack or more. Isn't that funny? Is that a funny coincidence that I can just bring back my Fallen of Albaz and super poly it into Bastard Dragon? Bastard Dragon, big Soul Resonator. Oh, they still want to combo. That's cute. I'm going to activate Springans Blast in order to prevent them from using their last 2 zones, which means they're just stuck with a pee-pee poo-poo Resonator on the field that doesn't do anything, which means I win. That's kind of I'm genuinely having fun playing this deck. This second replay is going to be against a Gemini, one of the current top tier decks and one of the decks that I feel is has a broken scale, but the scale does allow a deck that would see 0 there otherwise because their best card is a Continuous Trap. So I'm a bit more lenient towards that deck. It should probably still get addressed, but not like a top priority. It's like priority number 4. After Hero, Salaman, Great Predator Plants, you get to address this deck. Anyway, they're gonna activate that. You get Immortal Gearfried because they activated it from hand. Send Evocator. You know that I've made videos on this deck. You know how this deck works. I don't need to explain anything. I don't need to explain anything to you. They're just their end board is gonna be Charles and Phoenix Gearfried. That's what you need to know about this deck. That's what the deck does. Should they have made Dweller against my Springans? I think so. I think Dweller is actually pretty good against Springans because Brothers does activate in the graveyard. The Springans can attach themselves from the hand, but they can also do so from grave. And then there's the big Springan. It's not Pedal. It's, I forgot what it's called. Binga? Springan's Binga. Yeah, that sounds like a good name. It's not Binga. It's Brongo, something like that. That can banish itself and other Springans from your graveyard in order to get any Springans card. So yeah, should have made Dweller, idiot. Anyway. Reveal Fallen of Albaz, send Fallen of Albaz, send Rocky. You always want to send Rocky because you always want to revive the Rocky with the Springans brother. I'm going to activate Spell Spell. Oh no! They're gonna pop it with the Charles. Ah, that sucks. I can't really do anything about that. Fortunately, I do have the Booty, which can activate the Field Spell from the deck because the Field Spell is integral to your game plan. Do you want to play Terraforming in the deck? Maybe. They're going to try and negate the Rocky from attaching it, but I do have the Blast. So they're not going to be able to. Hey, look at that. I just get to Rocky. Rocky will revive this. Oh, they're going to Gear Blade. And they're going to Ablation, sending a Necro Gardener and using it really early to prevent themselves from getting Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller. That's a verb now. See? Get the Gemini Spark. Did a bunch of stuff. I'm not really good at recalling this duel, but I do remember that it was a really fun duel. Cool. Merrymaker hit the field. Merrymaker is going to set Brenga. That's the name. Brenga. That's the card I'm thinking about. I'm going to banish Brenga. No, I'm going to attach it, actually. But then I'll banish it. Why do I... Explorer just pops a bunch of cards. Let's take this duel's going too fast. Let's chill and take a couple of seconds to talk about Springan's Ship X Blower. So, During your opponent's main phase of battle phase, it can banish itself. All of the Springans Xyz can do that. This works with Gongonda in order to prevent your opponents from attacking, or Booty in order to negate their effect. Both of these are pretty cool effects. But the really more important effect is that you get to choose a monster zone, or a back row zone, and pop as many cards that are in that zone or adjacent to that zone as the number of materials you detach to activate this effect. Which means it technically doesn't target monsters, it targets zones, which is really cool and really important. Anyway, that's I'm gonna banish Brenga, get the call, get the blast. I'm not gonna be able to use it in order to summon Follow Wildbath Super Poly because I don't have a card in hand. I do have to work in the Electro Gardener. But still a decent ball. I'm gonna get the Avocado Chevalier. I can negate that. I can negate that with the blast in order to bait the Gemini Spark, targeting the Springans Calls, which is going to survive a Fallen Falbaz that doesn't really do anything. I don't think I have any other targets in deck at the moment, unfortunately. And then, oh no, they're gonna go Roland, then they're gonna activate Roland, do that, but I can actually get rid of my Merrymaker, which does send a Titanic Lad the Ash Dragon if you banish Merrymaker while it has 2 or more material. This deck has incredible synergy with itself. I love it. They're gonna pop my field spell. That's kind of... No, they're gonna pop my Fallen of Albaz, actually. The Golgonda is gonna prevent them from attacking this turn. I kind of want to use Explorer here, but I don't, because if I do, I'm just gonna lose to the Gearfried, and then they run out of time. I've been saying many times that the Duel Links timer is pee poo poo bad and should be made a bit longer. I don't feel good about winning this game. It was an interesting game. They could have still, like, attacked twice with Gearfried, and I think I would have been left with 100 lifey pointy. That doesn't feel good. That's not the kind of victory that feels good. Unfortunately. Duel Links timer is bad. They should make it longer. And I've been saying that, and I'll keep saying it until they actually make it longer. And I don't want to hear anyone in the comments being like, but speed duel, not slow duels, or what was the other thing people say? Oh, stallers will just use... No. If you can play the game optimally with the current time rules, you change the time rules. You do change the time rules. Even speed chess gives you time back for the move that you do, and Duel Links doesn't. What is that? Hey look, it's another replay against Borrel Link, a deck that I haven't seen in quite a while actually. It's mostly because it matches very poorly against the current metagame, didn't match great against Lyrilisk, but it's also one of these decks that had access to an incredibly busted skill that probably should have been fixed but never was, because this is Duel Links. Anyway, Booty into Golgonda is pretty cool. I'm going to get to show the Dogmatica part of the deck in this replay, because I did, in fact, open Ecclesia, which is cool. So, Merrymaker is going to send Branka, and then I'm going to attach a bunch of stuff, and then I'm going to go for Dogmatica Ecclesia, which is going to get me a Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis. So that's the board. It's not great. I really wanted to attach 2 material to the Merrymaker, though, instead of using the Brenga in order to search something with, because I didn't even get to activate my skill. So I don't even have a Fallen of Albaz in the graveyard. And this prevents stuff from attacking, so I'm not too worried. And this can set up for Fusion Dragon Bastards. Anyway. Let's get Borrel Link. Reveal Allies Advanced Dragon. Send Borrel Darkness Metal. Get a Double Disruptor. Oh, Borrel Link. They're gonna get the Quad Borrel. Oh, they're not gonna use it? I don't think it would have made a difference if they did. Because I can just make this go bye-bye. And this probably doesn't... I don't care if I lose this. I do care, actually, for the Fleur-de-Lis. Anyway. But it didn't. Which actually, maybe in insight, was a mistake. So they're gonna put the Quad Borrel and the Tracer into a Delingerous Dragon. Wait... I'm not sure why they did that. I'm also not sure... They're not a great player, right? Because you saw they used the Rocket Tracer on the monster they summoned instead of using it on the Quick Launch. They would have ended with more monsters to do more stuff on the field had they played this one correctly. We're going to go into Triple Burst here. And then going to normal summon the Double Disruptor Dragon. I just want to like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to Fleur-de-Lis that because I don't want you extending all that much. They're going to try to activate the Double Disruptor, but it is, in fact, negated by the Fleur-de-Lis. So that's cool. Don't worry, Disruptor banished itself. Gets the heavy interlock. They have the Riot Dragon in the graveyard that they're going to be able to access with its own effect, actually. Heavy interlock, pitch the Allies Advanced Dragon in order to ritual summon the one and only Borrel Riot Dragon. Pretty good cards. Pretty good against Xyz decks too. Because you can just negate an Xyz summon because it is not a summon that starts a chain. At this stage, I'm just going to get rid of my Merrymaker, which is designed to prevent the triple burst from attacking with Golgonda. And since I banished it while I had 2 or more material, I get to send Sprint from my extra deck to the graveyard. The Sprint is, of course, going to summon a Fallen of Albaz in the end phase, which is going to pitch the Brothers to fuse with the Borrel Dragon into Bastard! My favorite name for a dragon. Merrymaker, not Merrymaker. I send Brothers from the hand so I get to revive the Bongus. That's a cool board. I can just kill my opponent with it. Pretty fun duel. Pretty fun duel. And last but not least, it would not be a Duel Links replay video if it didn't feature Hero, everyone's favorite deck. This is the one hero player that I managed to beat. I played against a couple of others. One of them activated Wrath of Neos on me. That felt great. That felt really good. Anyway, this hand is actually kind of based, you know? I'm just gonna deactivate the skill, send a Fallen of Albaz, set the booty, and get a Springans Watch, because I did send a Fallen of Albaz. This will allow me to activate Golgonda from deck, which is allow Springans Watch to activate its secret effect of getting me 1 card and sending 1 card. So I'm gonna get the Brothers, send the I forgot the name again. Activate it in order to send the Brothers, get a Merrymaker. Merrymaker is going to send... What did it send? A Rocky? And then this is going to revive a Rocky, which is cool. And I'm going to attach. That was a misclick. I'm going to be honest with you. That was a misclick. I meant to normal summon it in order to make a Beast Dweller, because a Beast Dweller is okay-ish against hero, prevents them from drawing too far into their deck. Didn't mean to, but I attached 2 materials from it and get to activate Brangar, so, you know. I get the Springans call, set to pass, keep 1 in hand for the Fallen of Albaz. That's a decent board. Look at that Dark Hole. That's cool. And I can use the Blast to prevent them from using 1 zone, and then the Merrymaker to see you. Sending a Sprint in the process. So I'm gonna Arm Dragon Thunder. Well, really good. Hero players are so good. They don't even get Super Poly because they have Super Poly in hand. Is that funny? Activate Neos Fusion. Get a Kluger. Oh, you can't summon this turn anymore. I just get to revive Fallen of Albaz and turn your Kluger into my Bastard Dragon. And there it is. And there it is. It's a big dragon. Doesn't care about anything. End phase Merrymaker is going to go back. And Sprint is going to add a Fallen of Albaz to my hand that I can use the next turn. And that's well. Hey, look. I can activate my skill again. This is how I realized the skill was like multiple times per duel, which is kind of insane. I get to set a blast in order to prevent this guy from resolving. Oh no! Would you look at that? He's trying to pop my Bastard Dragon, but I can just blast negate it. It's cool. It's cool. Look, doesn't matter what you targeted because it's not staying on the field anyway, you idiots. I was gonna say the F words. I've been swearing too much in my videos as of recently, so I should stop swearing. Just attaching materials, just flexing a little. Sargas gives an additional 500 attack. My opponent doesn't concede it yet, so I'm thinking maybe they have Kytroid. Maybe I have to play again around Kytroid, and I'll lose another Cryback. Oh no, they don't. Strongest hero player, everyone. Average hero player, actually. You know what? I have no respect for the people who play this deck anymore. They always say hate the game, not the player. I hate every single hero player with a fiery passion. And when I play hero, I hate myself. So there's no hypocrisy here. And that's the deck! It is, like I said, super fun to play. I really enjoy it. I can't stress how much I'm glad to be able to play this deck. I'm gonna try and dig for a second watch. I feel like it could be useful. One thing I'm not too convinced about this build either is the Dogmatica encounter. It never came up, and I'm not sure if the Dogmatica cards are actually worth running without Nadia's Servant very specifically. I could be wrong, but I feel like I could cut a solid 4 cards and the deck would still probably be doing decent. Feel free to experiment with this deck and skill. Let me know what conclusions you make, and most importantly, have fun, because it is a fun deck, a rarity in today's pee-pee-poo-poo garbage format that Konami keeps failing to address and doesn't want to fix, and instead tries to keep monetizing before they pull the rug on us all. Don't spend your money on this game! Anyway, that'll be it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed it as much as I enjoy Springans, if not more. Which is impossible because I enjoy Springans more than you. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like. If you want, you can also leave a comment that says something nice about Springans. Which is your favorite Springans? I'm really partial to Roki myself. And if you'd like to support me further, you can check out my Ko-fi in the video description, where you can make a one-time donation or a monthly pledge. Instead of spending your money on Duel Links, why don't you spend it on me? Actually, you should rather, spend your money on the people that you love, like your family, your partner, something, your friends. But if you have spare money after that, I'll gladly take it. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my Ko-fi donators in the form of Dingus, Aldish Boy Zero, Jimmy, Zinnia, Yannike, Sile, Mark Lou, 1416, The Abyss Actor Guru, Orc Price, and Exorcist. Thank you all for the support. Yeah, I need to watch this now. Thank you all for watching once again. Take care. See ya. We'll see you all next time. Bye.